I just had to stop what I'm doing and go and grab the big boy. I gotta tell you a story Ken told me. It's also a very funny story with big old Willard involved. That's a funny thing. Willard's a big old guy, like I'm talking about more and more, also enraged about what happened to him. Kenny was saying back when he came in years and years ago, his old shredded Kenny, old and been doing it for years, carpentry. All he remembered one time was me and Willard. He was in the room with big old Bop there as his brother, as Dalton. Willard, Sisyphus, whatever you want to call him. He looked in, they were just doing something so deep and online, and Ken said they were out of control. And then there was big old Willard and with Billy there. Billy was starting green early, his Billy Bud. And he was just little Billy. And Ken said we were out of control, same thing. Because what we were doing is true, is something big on the internet with music, blah, blah, blah. And what happened to old Willard in the end is he got tossed out. And after what happened, and now look, with the same coaches that are trying to coach young men, and next thing you know, they're taking assault charges, and Coach Greg's coming right in and asking about Willard. And Big Bop goes on to make huge comebacks in the whited out big leagues. And Willard went on to play ball anyway. That's a fine thing. And Big Bop was sticking around, helping old Kenny out, just like they did little Billy's house, Julia. And there's little Polly too. Bop is with little Billy a lot too. Gets along, same thing. Herb, shredding. It's all for the shredders. And now the coaches are taking the Bop from the defense line, and their wives are getting tossed out, and they stepped up to Big GB. Never step up to Big GB. While we're right at their backs, all their masters are looking too. And now the old coach there is taking the Bops. And there was Kenny, just seeing it as kind of a wild thing. He said, you know who I ended up really hating? Old Manger. They were manging them out after with C too. But Bop, that's a fine thing. Cut the dead weight out. Willard's out east now. Went balling anyways. Tougher sport. Wheelchair. Where the average big man gets asked out if you can't hold the line against defense. That's a fine thing with Coach Greg yipping and yakking away with veterans. Only the tough made it, and they pushed through. And then this is like Big Bop, and he's just making huge comebacks there out in the whited out north as Bopper. And Willard's asked out, watch out, because they're very enraged too. Willard was in a chair, so it's not all good. That's a fine thing. Willard's big battle there, and they dragged old Willard back. Just a bunch of shame and blame. And when the Big Bop showed up as the big old red devil looking, he said they tore the place down. It was a shred, and big old Zeus came out greener-eyed anyways. Guy's roots to the snakes. He got him in a hook. Same thing, dragged him in. And Willard is the weight. And big old Bop comes behind old Willard, and Willard's still going out there. Also paid the buck. That's a fine thing when you go into the sport. Also paid the buck. You're up against hot shot pros. They're looking for the hot shot guys like Bop are looking in, assing out the hot shot too. There's big old giants. Willard could have made it. Big guy, strong, owning in sports, same thing. Owning old Billy in the field, taking the Bops. That's why Billy comes up. Little Polly's kind of the boss. He's now look at Polly, big Bitcoin, right? Listen to the King, same thing. Guys in Cloud9 life, Willard's asked out though. So the big old devil is going to be yipping and yakking his concerns. And watch, he's going to be burning them because the fire's on Big Bop. His huge comeback. It's Big Bop Uranus dragging them out. He's not even from the pros, and they're confusing different fields and comparing. That's when the Bopper comes out. Make sure you're for the fucking job. And that's a fine thing. Make sure you know and lose and take them and get back up tougher against the vets. It's the Giants and Big Bop's in with guys like Billy and Dave. Watch out, because even old little Dave back from the past slammed the bottle. And old Jody end up as a stumblefuck out there on the field. Same thing like Bop pushing in with the box or whatever it is. Bop's going to hit. Bop's going to hit. Just like you're calling out the fucking gods, the kings, right? So don't mess